of this. We just have a couple of other norms. They are patience, grace, and flexibility. And we would like for you to extend them to yourself as you go through this and learn everything, but also extend it to others, to your colleagues, to your students, to your parents, to me as I go through this training. Definitely doesn't mean like don't ask tough questions, but just phrase them nicely. We are all learning this. I am not a Canvas expert. I never use Canvas with my students. I have never used it even with adults. This summer was the first time when I was grading the Growing with Canvas training. So this is brand new to everyone. And because of that, just have some patience, some grace, and flexibility with yourself and others as we all try something new. So this training, how this is going to work is there are a couple of skills that are grouped by category and purpose. And we're going to talk about those skills. And then I'm going to model in real time, like I'm going to log into Canvas and show you what it looks like. There are also screencast tutorials on the slides, which I will show you where those are in just a moment. And there are some pictures that go along that are kind of like just still screenshots of like, first do this, then do this. As I show it, I'll show it twice or so on the actual Canvas platform. And then I'll give you guys some time to kind of play with it on your own Canvas accounts. If at any point, like, ooh, you're going too fast, don't forget those tutorial videos. You can always just ignore me or mute the meet and watch the tutorial video instead, as well as this will be recorded and you can always come back to it. I have principals calling me as if I'm like available to answer right now. Okay, just gonna ignore that. Okay, last, before we get into it, we want to just assuage any fears, that word, A-S-S-U-A-G-E, trying to use fancy words that I don't know how to pronounce. We want to ease any fears that like day one, this Thursday, it does not need to look like day 30. We are all learning something new. You do not need to start on day one logging them into any platform, be it Canvas, Google Classroom, anything. In order to get on a Zoom or a Meet, all they need is a link. They don't even need to log in. So like, just start there. Just start with the relationships, start with some grace and patience and love before you get to any of the rigor, any of the grade level content. Like just calm that pace. And we said the same thing, or principals were shown this same graphic, and we shared it with CSPs and LSTs, a presentation that went through that same thing, but that day one does not need to look like day 30. Right now, like we're in a flux. We don't have Zoom, the education platform, yet. So we probably are going to be starting with Meet, but you might want to move to Zoom in a week or two. Like that is all okay. And I would suggest like whatever you're most comfortable with, start with that and then use that momentum to then ease into other programs. But there is no district mandate that says you need to log into Canvas in the first 3 weeks. Like just go at your own pace, go at your PLC's pace. You as an adult need to log in for your staff center and your messages, but getting your students logged in and using it as the platform that you're using to deliver instruction, that doesn't need to happen. The presentation that we just sent to CSPs that hopefully got sent out to teachers to watch in their PLCs over the next couple of days, it actually talked about how week 3, which is not even until like, if we consider these first 2 days and all of next week as week 1, then week 3 is not until after Labor Day. And that's when you should first do your grade level content instruction. Like the next 2 weeks are kind of getting to know the kids, some diagnostics, review of previous grade level. Like we can take it slow. We do not need to hit the ground running and have day 1 look like day 30. So just as an aside, be kind to yourself. All right, that being said though, let us log in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of different places to go. You can just go to sanger.instructure.com and I'll leave this up on the screen for a little bit, but you are also able to log in from Sanger Learns. There is a button. I'll show you where this is on Sanger Learns, but the username is your first _ last. I'll put everything in the chat right now. So it is sanger.instructure.com. The username is your first underscore last, and the password is whatever your PowerSchool or laptop password, whatever that password is, the same password that you used to get onto the Wi-Fi when you first logged in. So it's whatever the laptop or PowerSchool password is. The suggestion is to use Google Chrome as your browser as opposed to Safari or Firefox. Most of the time when there's like a button missing or something doesn't look the same on my screen as it looks on your screen, it's because you're in Safari. So it's kind of like Chrome works the best, then Firefox, then Safari. Chrome works the best for all Google stuff too, so just use Chrome. All right, the other place to go if you want to make a new tab, just so you can follow along with the slides if you want, and this logo, which is right here. It will take you to a page. I will also put this in the chat. But on this page, on Sanger Learns, the sangerlearns.com/Canvas, that's another link to get into Sanger Instructure as well as to get into Canvas. And then here are the slides. I don't know why it's a little blurry on my screen. Sorry about that. Hopefully it will get a little clearer. But here are the slides. Maybe it's just blurry for me. Are you guys seeing it blurry too? Yeah, okay. Then hopefully when I switch to the other slide, this is it's gonna make some art joke, I don't know. But basically here are the slides on your screen. It shouldn't look, or when you go to that website, it will not look like that. Okay, so this is the actual tab. And good, that one's not. So a couple of questions that were in the chat. So we are going to log in with our username and password. On the next slide, I'll tell you what the student login is. For parents, they need to first click here for an account. So it says parent of a Canvas user, and there's information for this later on in the slides as well. But just so you know, because we're on the same page, parents of a Canvas user will first log or click here for an account. They will put their name, their email, and then create a password. And then they need a student pairing code. And I'll show you where that is. But then they're paired with them as an observer and can see their students' work. So they will still go to sanger.instructure.com. There are also 3 apps. There's a teacher app, a parent app, and a student app. We asked technology for all 3 apps to be pushed to to be available to the teacher portal or all the staff portal. So all 3 apps so that you could see what they look like. And then on the student iPads in the student portal, we asked for the parent and the student app to be available there. I don't have a confirmation that that has been done, but that is the goal. But again, you're not logging them in on Thursday anyway, so chill. Okay, anyway, sorry, that's my soapbox because who knows if we're all gonna be ready. Like, there's a lot of moving parts. So I'm gonna log in, go ahead and log in the same, and you should come to this dashboard. Your dashboard might look different than mine, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you a moment just to log in and get ready to go while I respond to a quick text from a principal. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's you.
I didn't know I was muted. Thanks, Carly. I was just chatting to myself. Well, the words are on the screen. You saw what it was. It was just the student password. I was just giving examples. So KG0531, and you would need to call the tech hotline. Thanks for that, guys. Okay. So what we're going to do, this is the first kind of, once the slides change, this is the beginning of Canvas 101. Again, the slides themselves on Sanger Learns, if you follow along, you can see them and then watch some of the tutorial videos on your own. If you're like, I don't want to watch, I need to just be able to pause and watch a shorter video, you can do that. But these are the things that we're going to go over. So the overall Canvas info is where we're going to start, just like settings, our profile picture, our notifications, and then getting into how you access the course and navigation of the course, as well as how you might set up a course, and then your inbox. Then we'll go into course-specific info. And for each of these, I'll do a thing, show a thing, give you time to practice that thing, and then be here the whole time if you need. Modules, discussions, assignments, and then we'll talk about getting ready for day one and how to import a course template so that you don't have just like a blank screen, and showing the K6, PLC, and district courses, how you bring those together into your stuff. All right, any questions before we begin? All right, so this is just the overall Canvas info. Let me get my water. So what we're going to do first is to make sure that you have a profile photo and then update your notification preferences. On the screen, you see the screenshots for how to do that, but I will show you real time in just a moment. But you're going to go to the big blue bar, which is the global navigation menu, hit account, and then when the window pops up, you can hit profile or notifications, doesn't matter what order you do it in. If you click profile, your image will come up with a little pencil. That will probably be grayed out until you change it. Hit the pencil and then you can upload a picture or take a picture. In the notifications, there are 4 levels of notifications. So the check mark indicates to notify me right away. And you'll see as like a list of events within Canvas. So like student submits an assignment is ready to be graded, and someone sends you a message, someone puts you on a discussion. Like all of those things are different events that you can be notified about. The check mark is notify me right away. The clock is to send a daily summary. That summary goes out around 6 p.m. So at the end of the day, it says like, hey, you requested a daily summary. Here's everything that happened within that day. A weekly summary goes out on Saturdays, and it's the same thing. Anything that you have the little calendar by, that one, any of those things will be sent out on Saturday in one email saying, here's your summary of those items. And then the X is don't send me anything I don't want to know. Here's the tutorial video that you can watch if in just a moment, if I'm going a little too fast. And is there anyone, I'm just gonna choose a person and hopefully that is okay. You would not raise your hand if you've not changed your profile picture and you wouldn't mind me logging into your account to show. Okay, I'm gonna go into Anita's. All right, so this is Anita's dashboard in just a moment. So a couple of different things on the dashboard. We see published courses, and that is probably like your school site staff center as well as the district staff center. If you are a new teacher or a new staff member, you might not be added yet to the district staff center. That will come, I apologize. And then any courses that you have published. Underneath are the unpublished courses. Anything, if I zoom in here, anything that has the year and then the school like written below, that came directly from PowerSchool. Now, Hallmark teachers, we've already talked to Severio and Angela and Melissa, and it's kind of a mess right now for homework because there's like teachers and then teachers of records and then advisors and so on. So we're working to kind of streamline that because you might have a lot of different tiles. Even Anita here has art and literature, art, drama, as well as the grade level courses that came from second grade. These, though, have students in them. They came from Power School, and we'll talk about all of that in a moment. These do not have students in them, but they have the content in them. We're going to talk at the end about how to get those together in the same place. All right, but first we're going to go to her account. Oh, I just hit back. No. All right, so I'm going to click account on the big blue bar, which again is the global navigation menu for all of Canvas. It was always going to be on that left-hand side. And then I'm going to hit profile. I start with profile just because it's a little simpler and there's less options. So you hit profile, and then here's the little grayed out image because she does not yet have a picture. You hit the pencil, and then you can upload a picture from your laptop, take a picture, which will open up your webcam, and then Gravatar is like a design. Everyone's is slightly different. I have no idea what it is. If you know what it is and you happen to have an email address, great. But I have no idea what it is. So you can go ahead and take a moment to upload a picture or do whatever you want with the picture. If you've already done that, if you want to edit your profile, you have the option of adding a short biography, like I teach second grade at Fairmont, or whatever you want to add in the little biography, as well as if you have a class website or something, you could put that there. So take a moment just to update your profile with the picture and a short little biography if you want. Once you have finished that, you can go to notifications. And then within the notifications, like I said, there's the check mark, which will notify you right away. There is the send daily summary, which happens every day around 6. The weekly summary is one weekly summary that goes out on Saturday around 6. And then the do not send me anything. Some of you might have 2 columns, like your email address, which is the standard one, just your @SangerUSD.net account. That just means that like if this thing happens, so a discussion post happens, immediately you will get emailed. I'll tell you on my notifications, I have almost none with the plus sign, because if I want to know about it, I will be in Canvas. Like the course activities, these are all things that are pretty much going to be done by you anyway, unless you have a co-teacher or you're doing it in a PLC. So I don't have any check marks on this one. The only thing I have the check marks for is down at the bottom is the global announcements and then conversations, which is part of our inbox. It's like a direct message within Canvas. So that's up to you, but I don't have any check marks except for those, the conversations and the alerts, or this bottom alert. Just because I am in Canvas enough that I don't need all of the different extras. I have a lot of things that send me like a daily summary or a weekly summary as opposed to immediately sending me something. So I'll let you kind of play around. There's no save button, just when you click it, that's the chosen thing. So for example, if I click this, it moves there and then saves automatically. I will say that within settings, and if you did the growing with Canvas, you had the option of adding other ways to contact. So another email address, a secondary email address, if you don't use your @SangerUSD.net account. I know some homework teachers they have a different email address, so you could add another email address, as well as adding a contact method like a text message. I don't do that. I do not want a text message every time someone submits an assignment. So I don't have any extra things besides my @SangerUSD.net account.
Katie,
Yes.
this is Monica.
Hey.
What happens if I don't have my own personal profile?
How do you, like, when you clicked on account and profile, nothing showed up, or?
Let's see here. I don't have my, let's see here. When I open up my dashboards, I only have the district staff and the Sanger Academy staff.
Oh, so this part is all if you click on account.
Okay.
And then notification and profile. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, on the dashboard is just the course tiles. So you have to go into the account settings. I tell you, these tech things, I'm used to being able to like look over people's shoulder and walk around and see how things are going. We'll see. And my wheel is spinning and I think I froze, but that's okay.
Katie, I had a quick question. This is Marianne.
Yeah, go for it.
On my notifications, I have a lot of little boxes checked off. Is that the district that did that for me? Because
no, it's Canvas's like settings at the beginning. And I got rid of all of those check marks. I didn't want things right away.
Oh, okay. So you just wanted the two that you said,
it is totally up to you. But what I did for the notify me right away was a global announcement. That's something that came from like the district as a whole. And then the conversations, not the discussions, because that's a discussion board, but the conversations, which I'll show you in a little bit, is the inbox, which is like Canvas's messaging feature.
Okay.
And I might, if I drop, I will come right back. This is active, but I'm moving my cursor, but it's just frozen right there on the screen. So I might just have to close these little things here. If I do drop, your task is to go into settings, and I can't show you where it is now, but if you click on settings, there is something that talks about, it has a little Google Drive logo. So underneath, like, it'll show you your profile picture and then like some of your display name, which you can't change. But underneath that, it says like registered services, maybe. And it has the Google Drive logo, the little thing that looks like the recycling. Click on that and log in with your Google. Like if you click and then click authorize, it will pop up the little window that says sign in with Google. You will want to connect your account because that then allows you to
I lost sound and the picture.
We all did.
Okay.
We lost Katie. Where are you, Katie? What were we supposed to do prior to?
I'm back. Sorry about that. But did you guys do your task? Okay, I'm showing it. I'm getting my screen ready to go. Sorry.
Can you repeat that? How to connect your camera?
Yeah.
to your
I'll
Google?
show it. All right, so I'm in my account, which has way too much stuff. So I'm going to go back to Anita's account. One of the really cool things about Canvas is, as a Canvas administrator, I can do what I'm doing right now, act as a user. So if you're like, something is not looking right, I'm not able to do this. Like yesterday, I was able to help a teacher at Jackson. I just went into his account and then moved things around, which is kind of creepy, but it also was really helpful. Okay, so on the settings, so account and then settings, you see this. You can also change your profile picture from here. but it's under the registered services. Right here, if you click Google Drive, authorize Google Drive, it will then pop up the little window that asks you to sign in. So obviously Anita's name is not here and I'm not going to sign in as her, but you would then choose your Google account and then log in. The reason why you would do that is so that now within Canvas, you can attach things within your Google, Google Slides, Google Docs, whatever it is, you can attach and you don't have to like go and find them. It just pulls up the window of your Google Drive. Heather, yes, if you are using someone else's, like if yours doesn't say, you can always deauthorize it. So you can always get rid of it once you're done with your long-term sub position. So yeah, go ahead. You can also authorize their Google account if you have access to that one. If you have access to, is it Courtney's? I don't know who's you're doing. Okay, so those are those two things. I'm gonna pull aside that is all we were gonna do for this little part. It's just the profile and the notifications. And then if you're able to authorize the Google Drive and then connect your account. Haley's, okay, yes. Haley's with those
Katie.
twins. Yeah, go ahead, Marianne.
When I pressed that little thing where you told us to press under to connect the Google Drive, it takes me to
Yes.
a page that says transfer your account, privacy and personalization. We keep your account protected and account storage. It's like a whole page of things.
Oh, does it say like you're giving permission to Canvas to do this? These.
Now it says transfer your email and Google Drive files to another Google account.
Oh, that's like Google Takeout. You don't.
Yeah, that's where it took me when I pressed that little bottom of it right there, where it says registered services, and then it says Google Drive. It says view your profile with my email on it.
Did it give you this, the button that I'm kind of moving around the screen? Did that show up?
No, it did not. It took me to another page that had other options, 4 or 5 options.
I'll log into your account later and we'll kind of figure it out. So don't worry about that right now. You don't need it on day one anyway.
Okay.
Just like, hey, while we're in there, we can
do the same thing. Mine's doing the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. So don't do any of that now, guys. Thanks, Molly. Okay, let me find where we are in the slides. Those crashed, my whole computer crashed. Okay. So we're gonna move on from this and go to Inbox, which I'll show you on the slides in just a moment when they start to load. But along the side here, there is a spot that says Inbox along the global menu. What we are going to do with this inbox is, and what it is, so for under 9th grade, so our TK through 8th grade students, their SangerUSD.net account, their Google account, just works within like Classroom, Slides, Drive, etc. It does not have an active email account associated with it. So if you wanted to send a message directly to a student, there really wasn't like a good way to do that. You could do it through ClassDojo or through Remind, but then it went through the parent and then into the student. But within Canvas, this is a really great feature that we didn't have access to before. You can actually send a direct message to a student and it's all safe and housed in a place where it's there to CYA whenever you need. But you can, any student can send a message to any other student and any teacher that they're connected with by a course. So for example, we are all a part of the district staff center. Yeah, your inbox is empty right now because it is not an email address and it is not associated with your email address. Like, so it should be empty. No one has been sending messages because we didn't use it before. So it is just an in-Canvas messaging system. It does not connect with your email address, except if within the notifications under conversations, if you asked it to send a notification that said, hey, you just received an inbox conversation. So we'll play with it in just a moment, but the way that it works is everything is connected by a course. Like you can't just type a message to someone, you have to first choose the course. And then if you're connected to them by that course, you can send a message. For students, they can't just send a message to anyone in the whole district or the whole school. It's only within their course. Even by grade level, they can't, it's just their class. think course and class is synonymous. The courses come directly from PowerSchool. So if, for example, in Chuck's situation, like he has both of the 6th grades, one 6th grade can't send it to the other 6th grade. It's just within their course. But those students can send a message to Chuck or to Tisha. So any teacher or student that they're connected to by a course. So let's take a look at what it actually looks like. As staff, we are all, or will be, all a part of the district staff center. So that's our course that we're all connected to. This is what it looks like when you first log in. There aren't any conversations because it's not email. We haven't been using it. You would click compose message. Sorry, it's loading to the other screen. Okay, now it showed up. You would hit compose message. Here's where like there's no to yet. You have to select the course. They don't pop up until you hit favorite course, and then here's all the courses that you are a part of. If you're like me and you have a ton, you can also start to type it in here and it will kind of filter them out. I chose District Staff Center because that way I know that all staff members, for the most part, unless you're a new staff member, are already in there. But I'm going to send a message to Chuck. Oops. I'm going to spell that correctly. And I'm going to click send. Now, Chuck, depending on his notifications, may have gotten an email saying, hey, a conversation was just sent to you, because that is where the inbox lies in the conversations. But you can see in Anita's, it still didn't show up because I'm on inbox. I would then have to go to sent to find that message. If Chuck replies, which he would do by clicking here on the little kind of backwards arrow, once Chuck replies, then it would show up in my inbox. On the gear, you can also like delete, forward this message to someone. So there, it looks like email, but it is not email. It is all just the messaging within Canvas. But for our TK 8th grade students, we've never had that feature before. We can directly message one student at a time. You also have the option of sending it to the whole course. But one thing, because the question came up yesterday, when I choose District Staff Center, it can be kind of scary because you're like, wait, is that going to the whole staff center? I'm not, I'm just narrowing down. Like you had to first choose course in order to choose the 2. But it kind of feels like in first class when we were sending things to the staff center, but I just wanted to tell you that's not how it is. You can though, say like the teachers in this, or the students in this within staff center, the parent or the students are actually teachers, and then there's student groups of like, those haven't been in there, but that's fine. In your courses, you might see something like that. You can also send an attachment, just it'll open up something to drag something in from your desktop or from your laptop. You can also, this is gonna open up my camera, you can upload, or this could have also been like a quick mic message. I could choose the mic and start recording. You did a good job on that assignment or whatever. I'm not going to send this, but that's how you could send a little media comment to a person. So go ahead and just go back and forth and send some message to someone. So Chuck responded, and now it shows up in the inbox. And you can see that both of them show up because they're kind of like threaded together. If I wanted to delete those, I could click here and then delete. I could also favorite, or sorry, star it and keep it for forever. So go ahead and take a moment to send things with the inbox. I'm going to put this screen up that has this, as well as, don't forget the video is there if you want to watch it a little slower. I'm going to have some coffee. Carla, your question within school site is support staff part of teachers. It honestly, I am a student in the district staff center. We are all students in the district staff center. And I think all teachers are students in their site staff centers. The administrators, CSPs, LSTs, VPs, APs, those are the teachers in the staff center. Within your courses, if you have, because it's kind of like the permissions of who can do announcements, that's just how the staff centers were set up. If you have a course with students, then you are the teacher. If you don't have a course with any, where you are the teacher in anything, then I'll talk about like where we can fix that, but yeah. Also, we know that a lot of people kind of move around. So if you are a counselor psych speech and you have the wrong staff centers, like if you've been moved and you still have Sanger Academy and you don't have Sanger Academy anymore, go ahead and you can shoot myself or Rachel Groft an email, and not like today or right away, but we can move you around and give you access to the right ones. All right, so I'm going to move to the next thing, which now we're going to go into the courses. So within Canvas, always on that left-hand side is the blue bar, which is the global navigation menu. And then we have the course menu. Now, the things that I'm going to show you now, I'm going to kind of breeze over some of them. I'm not going to go into super detail because I want to get into the actual courses, but this video later on will show you how to set up a course. I'm going to quickly do it, but we'll go into more depth with course setup. And then this will go into more depth with accessing and then navigating the courses. I'm going to show you those things now, but later on, if you forget or you want to watch it again, they are available. And don't forget, I can't share you the slides because we have more than 100 people looking at them, and Google Slides shut down after 100 people are on the slides. That's why we had to publish them and put them onto the Sanger Learns Canvas website. All right, but I'm going to go to the dashboard. So this is Anita's dashboard, and remember there are published and unpublished courses. That's absolutely fine. You didn't do anything wrong if they're unpublished. By default, anything that came over from PowerSchool, so I'm going to choose this one. It has that 2021 in Fairmont, so it came from PowerSchool. There's no content in it. But here we have like the big blue bar is the global one for all of Canvas. And then this is the course menu. So the course menu, there's a couple of different things I want to talk about. At any point as you go through, you see these little like the eyes crossed off. You as a teacher can see that, but you can see it's not visible to students. One of the features that I really like is they have this student view button. At any point, you can click student view and see it just as the students see it. Right now, again, there's no content, but you can see the menu got a lot shorter over here on the left, the course menu. I'm going to leave student view, which is down at the bottom, and come back to seeing it as Anita. Oh, except when I do that, it switches, and now I'm not Anita anymore, I'm me. But I'll go back to being Anita. Sorry about that. I guess you can only pretend to be one person at a time. I could either pretend to be Anita or pretend to be Anita's student. I can't pretend to be both. All right, so back over here, I'm in the second grade course. So here's the course menu. You can see that this already has your students enrolled. So unlike Google Classroom where you have to give them a code, they already are enrolled. You're also enrolled as a teacher, but here's your students. They're already enrolled, but there's no content in these courses yet, and that's okay, we'll get there. But this is the people. Now, over here, you have the option of this plus sign, adding people. So for example, I always spell her name wrong. Is that how you spell her name? I'm gonna just hope. Caitlin, I will address that in just a second. So I'm gonna add Charlene Griesner, who's the RSP teacher, and I'm gonna add her as a co-teacher to my class. One of the huge benefits of Canvas, in Google Classroom, all you had was student and teacher. There was no like level besides student and teacher. A parent could get a weekly summary of it, but in Canvas, you can have co-teacher do everything in the course. A co-teacher can do everything except for like delete the course, delete assignments, but they can still see all of the assignments for a person or for a student. A TA, you probably won't use those, but that would be like a teacher, a student is labeled as a TA and they can like look at assignments, but they can't see whose assignments are whose, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna add as a teacher. Yay, I spelled her name correctly. And you can add the user. Then Charlene will get an invitation and say like, hey, Anita has added you as a co-teacher on her class. You can also resend that or remove that person from the course later on. Don't deactivate the user, just remove from the course. But that allows our RSP teachers, it allows any support staff that want to look in and see how students are doing. It allows them a lot more flexibility than it did in Google Classroom. Lindsay, I promise I'll talk about it. Yes, Stephanie Colson, a teacher can have more than one co-teacher. I could have done a couple, just a bunch of them separated by a comma, kind of like this. I can add, I don't think there's a limit. That was another thing in Google Classroom. There was a limit to how many classrooms you could have and how many teachers you could have in that classroom. And there's not that limit in Canvas. The other thing here, and we'll talk about it later, from this People tab up at the very top, this is where you get those pairing codes for your parents. So I will reference that later on, but it's from this People tab up at the very top, the pairing codes. There are videos that show you that later, but just while we're here, I was going to show you. And the pairing codes, remember, is how parents log in. They need to create an account, but they need a pairing code. That's where you get those pairing codes. Oops. When you click import, it'll just save it as a file on your laptop, like a spreadsheet. All right. So I'm going to come back here to the course menu. You can see there's a lot of different things. Under modules, it's empty right now. I'm going to create a module just to show you what it looks like, but I don't want to do it in here. Okay? I'm actually going to go back to the dashboard. And here's where some of you might not have this button, but we will work through that and just pay attention and watch now, and then we'll address it. I'm going to start a new course. I would suggest everyone that can does this because it is very helpful to have a sandbox course. So I'm just going to call it Carry On Sandbox. I'm going to leave that the private and then create course. The reason we suggest you having a sandbox is just a place to play. So you can move things around, you can do that in the others, but I wouldn't want to do it in one that actually has students there. I just want to be able to play. So make a sandbox and then you can play without any fear that you're messing up any of the actual content. Now, if you, just like in Google Classroom, sometimes when you click on the plus sign, you're only given the option to join a class, not create a class. It's the same kind of thing in Canvas. If you don't yet have that permission, you don't have the create a new course button. We will work through that and get you that as soon as possible. It's kind of like one of those where you can't, I don't know that it happens until it happens. So I will work on that. Okay, Ashlyn, we will try to, no worries. I will follow up with you after this. I won't be able to fix it right now. I don't think I have access. All right, so in this new course, I'm just gonna quickly set up a module. Actually, no, I'm gonna come back to the slides because I first wanna talk through what these are. All right, it probably is all support staff. It's basically if, yeah, so I will fix it. So far it might be support staff and then PE. All right, so the Canvas course info. I'm gonna skip that and come back to it because that's a lot. So within Canvas, the different things out there, there are modules, and think of those as like the big categories, kind of like the file folders. That is how they're organized. It could be by unit, it could be by chapter, it could be by story, but that is the module. It's just how it's organized. And then within that, there are different things that you can have. There is a page, like this is an example of a page, and it will always have that little icon. A page is anything that the student isn't going to necessarily like interact with. They're not going to turn it in. It's just more like information. You could put videos on it. You can put the information and the links and the pictures. So it's just a page. They're not going to turn it in as an assignment. Then there is a discussion, and that's just what it sounds like a discussion board. Just like on Google Classroom, I could post a discussion. Students can respond to that and then reply to each other. Then we have a quiz, and that quiz is always a little rocket. The rocket or the quiz is self-graded. You choose the correct answers. There's a lot of options for different question types, and assignment. And the assignment is the one that is the most open-ended. There's a lot of different things you can do with the assignments, and I'll show you. Within that, you can see off to the side, there are these like check marks. They're green. Sometimes they are grayed out. If it is grayed out, it means it is not published. So that is a huge difference than Google Classroom. In Google Classroom, if I want something on there, I have to just send it. I can schedule a post, but there's no like, it's there, it's organized and ready for me, but the students can't see it. In Canvas, I can do that. I can have it ready to go there and then publish it when I want it ready for students. So I don't have to delete things, it's just unpublished. And yes, Annette, not everything in quizzes, like anything that you can put an answer to, yes, it is self-graded. So like multiple choice, the check that all it apply, there's some like fill in the blanks, as long as you put some different variations within spelling, but like the short answer and the longer response, those aren't graded, but all of the, there's like a word for those kind of things. All of the ones that can be graded are. Within each of these things, the way that you edit them is called this rich content edit, which is along here on the bottom. I'm going to show you what it looks like in Canvas, but these buttons are very important. You can link something, an external website. You can add a picture, you can add video or media, and then you can add a PDF. And yeah, the students don't grade themselves. It's like you set up and then it grades it against that answer key. Okay, so we're back in Anita's sandbox course. Just as a practice, there are no people in this course. So there's no people except for her. I'm just playing with it. I'm going to create a module. You can click there or where it says plus module. I'm going to name the module and it's something that we're just playing with. So there's the module. I'm going to add something to the module and I'm just going to do a page and then new page. And again, there's a video that shows all of this. So on this page, that's there. I'm just making like a shell that I will go back and fill in. This is going to be a discussion. I could have a quiz, and then there's an assignment. Right now, all of these things are not published. So gray, it's grayed out with a little line through it. If I want to publish them, I just hit that and then all of these will turn green. But then even then I can say, actually, I want to unpublish this assignment. I want it and it's ready to go, but I don't want it published to the students yet. So the students can't see it. And you can check that with student view. So again, I can click on student view and it's going to kick me out again, but oh well, I'll survive. And I can see those two, but I can't see the assignment. Now back as Anita, or as me, I can click on this welcome back to school post. Actually, I'm going to go to the assignment. So all of these have the same edit features where it brings up this rich content editor once it loads. So there's nothing here yet. I can click the edit button. This is an assignment. So there's this stuff that I'll talk about in a little bit, but this is the rich content editor right here. It's kind of small. So if you click on this and drag down, it will make it larger. It's hard to see when I zoom in like that, but, and then so if you click and drag, it'll make it larger or smaller. But this is right where you would type. So you would give a description of the assignment and any directions. There's not a ton of fonts. In fact, there's no fonts. You can change the italicize, underline, you can make them bold, you can do things like that. You can change the color of them, but there's no super fancy fonts because they take their accessibility very, they don't take it lightly and they want to make sure that that it has readability for all of our students. You can though, like mess around with the alignment, you can make a bulleted list, you can do all of those kind of things. You can also embed a YouTube video. This will open up this, you can click embed and then pull the embed code from a YouTube video, which I will show you very quickly. Sorry, I had all these tabs open and then my computer crashed. All right, so I'm on YouTube here and it's gonna start playing, but I'll pause it. 1, 2, 3. This is the song or the video or the whatever that I wanna share with them. If I click share, instead of copying this, which is what I normally might copy, I'm gonna click on embed. It has all this super fancy HTML. You don't need to do any of it. You just click copy. And then back in here, you paste it into the embed. And there it is. They don't leave Canvas. It's still within the app browser. It's just embedded within that. Like watch the video and then write something about it. I could have also done an external link to a different website. I could upload a picture. So I could upload a picture or upload a video if I had it. And then this is where I could do like a upload a document. Under the apps are the external one, but this is where you would get like Google Drive, or it would pop up your Google Drive and then you could find different things. I'm not going to go into that. That's 201, and I don't want to get confused. Okay. From here, you could say Earth. You could say how you want it to submit the different things. And again, on the video, it talks all about this assignment, the whole thing. So I'm not going to go too much into them, but they exist. There's not really a like scheduled post, but you can say when it's due, and you can say when it turns on, when it's available, like that. If I don't want it to go out today, if I want it to go out on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, you can do all of that and then click save. It's still not published, so I can change that. Once someone has submitted something, then I can't go back and change it. So just keep that in mind. But it's still not published. It still shows up in my list, but it doesn't have the little green check mark. All right. So I'm going to go back to the slides very quickly to just show a little bit about those differences. This can be very confusing. So this flowchart is meant to help, but if it is too confusing, just skip over it. But basically there's pages, discussions, assignments, and quizzes. And this is when you would use what. Okay. All right, so we've got about a half an hour and then some time for questions. So I want to make sure that you are ready for day one by doing some of these different things. But before we go into that, how are we doing? What's up? Are there any questions? I know probably Cindy, Terry, Molly, Carla. There's probably a bunch of you that don't have that start a new course button, so I apologize. But we'll get those.
Yeah, Katie, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So when you were embedding or uploading, I don't know, a YouTube link,
Yes.
were you under assignments in modules and then assignments, and that's where that was happening?
Yeah, but you can really do it anywhere. So on a page, anywhere that has that rich content editor, which that is there for pages, for all of these things, for pages, discussions, assignments, and quizzes. Anywhere that you can do it, you can embed that video. So in a discussion, if I wanted them to watch this activity where these kids are juggling a soccer ball, I could get that YouTube video and then type up a little discussion question, and then they could watch it and add answers in the discussion board. So you can do that for any of those things.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and it's anything that has this like, and I know when I move that, the menu pops up, but it's this, they call it the rich content editor. And it's kind of wacky at first. My fonts, I love to choose fonts, but it's more versatile than in Google Classroom where it's just a question, or you can do different questions, but you can't like post as many things.
Okay, thank you.
For Bethany, And hang on one second, Marianne, that you had in the chat. Yes, we are waiting for STAR residents and some other student teachers to get their at SangerUSD.net, well, their laptops and their accounts. And then once they have their email addresses, then they will have Canvas accounts, and then we can link them. If we tell you like, hey, they're ready to go, then you can go into your courses and do that people and then add a person. But yeah, that's what we're waiting on, that they don't have, some of them don't have email addresses yet right now. Marianne,
Okay.
go for it.
Oh,
Okay, Katie.
Oh, sorry, Bethany. Sorry, Marianne. Okay, Bethany, go. Both of you go.
sorry. Yeah, so I have Ashlyn is actually my STAR resident, so she already has an SUSD email. So that's why she was kind of, I think, piggybacking off of what I asked earlier. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so the emails, we have to manually do the Canvas accounts because they are created automatically when they're involved in PowerSchool, but because she's not attached to a class in PowerSchool, anybody who's not attached to a class, so counselors or school psychs or student teachers, they're not attached to a class, so their accounts are created. So we have to do it manually on the back end. And the last 2 days we've been doing this, so we haven't done any. But we will.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, Marianne, I promise, no one interrupt.
It's okay. So what I did over the summer is I created a course, right? And I tried to attach a Google slide to it, and it did work, but it eliminated everything I had on my page. So I'll have to go back and see what I did. But I know that the district created us a course, right? So
yes, and that's what we're going to talk.
Now I have 2 courses. So I need to see what I can do to bring those 2 courses to 1 course.
Perfect. And that is a wonderful segue. It's like I paid you and Angela, who talked about can buttons be shared. So one of the biggest things, and I'll tell you right now, like this, because there are so many ways to do a similar thing, which is good and bad. There's a lot of versatility. So don't freak out about it. But this slide, each one of these is a link to a thing. So how to copy a page to another course, how to copy an assignment, a discussion, an announcement, a quiz, how to import content from one course to another. I'm going to show you how to take your the content from the district created courses and how to push that into the course that you have students enrolled in. So I'm going to show you how that is done. But this can also be how you take from one and push it to another PLC member. Okay, so this is how we're going to do this. There's a couple of other things within this, but I'm going to go back to Anita's Sandbox course. I'm going to do this with her Sandbox course as opposed to with her actual course, but I will do it with her actual course in just a moment. But here is the Sandbox course. I'm actually acting as me in Anita's course because I have an the admin access, but it's the same thing if it was you. So you're going to do something called importing from Commons. Before we do that, I just want to show you what Commons looks like. And Chuck, your question about like private or public, it is totally up to you. I keep my Sandbox course and the stuff I'm just playing with private. Public would be like publishing it to Commons and then saying like, hey, anyone in the world can use this. So there are 130,000 things in Commons, and it's like a big search repository of anything Canvas. So there are quizzes, assignments, there are whole courses. You can filter by what the thing is. So if you're looking for a whole course, if you're looking for a module, an assignment, we yesterday in the high school in WAMS, we did one on like digital citizenship. We found a module on that. You can also filter by grade level. So this, when you asked Chuck about like private or public, if you make it public, then it can end up in Commons and you're saying that like other people can use it. So that's up to you. But what we're gonna do is first just find a template. So if you wanted to make something on your own, you could have a template. What would be a great idea is if you took one of your Sandbox courses and actually made it a PLC course to just play around in. And I show you how we might do that. So if you go filter and then click the only Sanger Unified District Approved, this one right here, it just filters it to these templates. So there's a K second or a K to second, third. There's a third through fourth to eighth grade template. There is a high school template. I'm going to use this K second, kindergarten to third grade template. When I click on it, it gives me a preview, but it just kind of sets up these. And I'll double check on that, but yes, it should work. And I'm going to click import download. When I click on that, it pops up, where do you want it to go? I might not be in Anita's right now, so I'm just going to put it in my sandbox, which is this one, my just made up KGALT 2020. And then scroll down and click import into course. It will say, okay, you've successfully started the import, but it might take a little while to see the changes in your course. I'm going to click on courses and go to that one. It's on my unpublished. Oh, I did this one yesterday for whatchamacallit. So this was already here, but this is what happened. This picture, I can change the picture. I can do all of these different things. I think this one's the secondary one, but now I have something at least where I had like just a blank thing. I now have modules and some different activities and different things. It's not like content, but it's just, instead of having an empty banner, I have something to work with. I can edit it. This used to say like, insert your name here. I'm gonna drag this down. I can change this picture. I can get rid of it and then add in a new picture. The benefit with the course templates is they come with some different banners and pictures. So like if this were a PE, I could have that picture. I can change messages and type up a new thing. These buttons link to different parts of the course. So I can click on them and then go up to the link, and it's already done for me, but I could click within course links and tell it to go to, like it says learning modules, so I want it to go to modules. Click modules. If you had a Bitmoji picture, I think that's what you were talking about, Marcy, you could definitely upload an image and then upload your image of the Bitmoji. That's fine, a Bitmoji classroom or whatever virtual classroom you had, and then click save. And then here's the home page. So it just makes it, instead of having like an empty thing, you have something. Now there's still not grade level content in there. So this is, again, just the sandbox and how you might take something from Commons and use it. But if you didn't want to use a whole template, a whole course, you could also do that with an assignment. You could do a lot of different things. All right. So I'm going to show you now like how to do it with your actual, with the course, the two courses that you have, with the math and with the course that you have students in. Now, elementary, I'm just going to throw this out there. Elementary right now, you have two courses. You have a math and you have an ELA, but you probably only have, okay, people froze. Am I still active?
Katie, it's
Yes,
Monica again.
did I?
I don't have my own course.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to now log in. That was Monica, right? Thanks, Annette. Okay, I'm going to try to see that hopefully it works. Okay. You're right, Monica, you don't. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I don't know why that is, but we will fix it. I'm gonna stop acting as you and go back to Anita. So that is the case, like if you in PowerSchool have students and you're not showing up in Canvas, there might just be some sync. And if you should have a course that you don't, you can definitely email me and we will work on it. Yeah, Caitlin, probably just because you were just added to PowerSchool. The sync is like every night or every morning, I forget. And then Tara, I don't know what you're supposed to have. So if you, because you're a long-term sub, so yes, you're not connected because your name is not anywhere in PowerSchool. So if you were to log into Courtney's, it might show up, but and maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, but here's what the K6 are going to do with their content classes. So I have this one that Carry On has that has students enrolled, and I know that because that's what it would look like coming from PowerSchool. And then I have these two Master SUSD, one for math and one for ELA. What I'm going to do is go to the place that I want it to end up. Okay, so I want it to end up, I want the content to end up in the course that has people enrolled, that has the students enrolled already. So here's this, the students are enrolled, but there's no content. What I'm gonna do is go to the home, and then where it says over here, import existing content. So import existing content. Nothing is there yet, so I'm gonna go up here and say content type, and I'm gonna say copy a Canvas course. Now you can't undo this, but you can delete the things that are in here, but I'm just going to do it for one of them and then show you some other options. You're gonna copy a Canvas course, and then you're going to choose the one that has the ELA or math. Just choose one of them. I'm gonna say all content. On the options, the adjusting events and due dates, that won't matter because none of the courses that the PLCs or that the district PLCs made have events or due dates. But say, for example, you're moving from one year to the next and you've already put all your due dates in. Like say now we're at the end of the 2021 and you're looking forward to 2022, you could copy that course and then have them adjust the events and the due dates, and it will try to like be smart about, hey, this was due on the third day or the third Thursday in August. Do you want it to do the third Thursday in August of the following year? So it does things like that. And then I'm gonna click import. Now it's going to take a little bit of time. So it says that it's queued. So it's a work in progress, but eventually what is going to happen is that what was an empty shell of a course that had kids but no content, when I click home, and it won't be instantaneous, so it'll take a little while. When I click home, it will start to look just like this course. So it will take on everything that was in this math course and push it in. Oops, not that math course, the district one, that math course. Which, there's nothing in there. Interesting. That one has it. Well, we might have to address that. Okay, I'm gonna do that again because, oops. So I'm gonna import existing content. I'm just gonna do them both, and I promise Anita I'll fix if I make a mistake. Looking like there was nothing in there, which that's an issue. So I'm gonna now pull over the ELA and say all content. And then import. And I don't know if it's just, taking its sweet time. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a different one because it worked when I did it with a Jackson teacher. And then we'll come back. The fact that it still says queued after a long time and the fact that like my internet dropped a while ago, it might just be that internet that's not cooperating right now. But even the fact that the math looked empty is an issue. Okay, I'm going to go to a different account. Oops. So yesterday, Chris Mamura, who's a 6th grade teacher at Jackson, he took his the math and the ELA, and he merged them into one. So this now has all of the people, like this, the students are in there, but it also has both of the content areas. And that's going to be one option. It will not work in this moment. We won't be able to do it in the next 15 minutes, but later on I will send a video so that you can take, if you only have one course from PowerSchool with your students enrolled, but you have 2 content, how do you get both of the content from the ELA and the math and push it into the one that has the students enrolled? And what we did was we made a new homepage that then this links to the ELA content, and this button links to the math. So we made a new homepage that had both pieces. I put this new homepage in Commons, so it's available, but I haven't made it for every grade level yet. But we weren't sure, every school does it slightly different. So if you are at a school that puts it all into one in PowerSchool and you just have one course, then that's what it will look like in Canvas. But sometimes the schools put them in 2 different places, like a 2nd grade ELA and a 2nd grade math, and whatever's in PowerSchool will come over into Canvas. So yours might already be separated. Okay. There's a lot of like frozen people, so hopefully I'm still working. If someone in the chat can say like, yeah, I can still hear you. I'm not talking to myself. Okay, thanks. Now, the other thing is, say that I want to share this page. I want to share this page that I did. I want to share it with someone else. So copy to, send it just within myself. I can copy it to another page. But say I want to send this to Chuck because he's a 6th grade teacher. Maybe he wants this same page. This is just a new page. It shared it just directly to Chuck. Kind of like sharing within Google, but you just send directly. That's 3 dots, and it can happen on any page, any assignment, any quiz, any discussion. You can just share it directly, send it to directly someone. Yes, I know. Sorry, Annette. Who else is a 6th grade on here? Well, none, and they wouldn't be Matt. I think no one else in 6th grade because I think they're in the 201. So that's okay. I can send it to Tisha too. Now for them, where it shows up, like where Chuck would now go to, is on the account content. And on Chuck's, it would have a list of shared content here, and then he can say like, oh, put this in this course, and it just like use blank in this course. So you can also share stuff within your PLC that way. So the question that someone like Angela, how can buttons be shared? You can do that with a whole page discussion and everything. You can also do it with an entire course. Like this Memora sandbox, he could share this whole course. If you go settings, you could share this whole course or copy this course and send like to Commons or send portions to another person. The other way of doing that is going to people and adding someone to the course, and then they can steal from you. They can take what they want. Okay. The last little things in here, we're not going to watch this, but this was when I talked pairing codes and how the parents log in. These are videos that you can, and a PDF that you can use to get your parents involved in Canvas whenever you are ready for that. Again, does not have to be very soon, but you can find the pairing codes again on that People tab, and then up at the top it says the 3 dots, and you download the pairing codes. Then you give these instructions. The PDF is here in English or here in Spanish, and then they can log in either on the web, on a laptop or a desktop, or on the parent app. So there's 2 different videos here. This Canvas treasure hunt, when you are ready to use it with your students, this is available, and I'll show you where to get it. But there is a Canvas treasure hunt that you can use with your students to kind of have a fun way of having them explore the different parts of Canvas. All right, we're gonna move to questions. I'm gonna go through some of these sources so that there's 15 minutes at the end for questions, and then you have a break. Next thing you have, if you have iReady after this, or sorry, or I do, but it's not in front of me. So pop up the questions in chat or say them out loud, but until that time, I'm just going to go through some of these slides. Last spring, we recruited kindergarten through 6th grade teachers across the district to build the ELA and math courses. It's time to work on trimester 2. So we want to restart and have either people that were already on the team or new members. So in August, we're establishing these teams. They will be paid for 25 hours on a B2. The goal is to make Canvas courses for trimester 2, because we have the ones for trimester 1. And we want 3 to 5 teachers on each team for each grade level. You'll be supported by a Canvas expert. So if you're like, ooh, I'm nervous, I don't know Canvas that well, that's okay. You'll have a Canvas expert with you. But if you are interested, you're going to go to this bit.ly, which as I type Annette, as soon as I hit stop recording, it takes a little bit of time, but then I'll show you on the calendar where it is.
Katie, if you're going through slides, your screen is frozen on Memura Sandbox.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay, there you go.
But you missed. Oh, not that, but just this slide. Extra resources, and then think about. So here's the flyer, but I just put the interest form, and then Ashlyn, I'll show everyone where this video will be posted. We will also email them out. We will probably, because I've recorded 3 now of the 101s, and I'll choose whichever one is the best. Also, this, if you click here, it will open up a slide, or it'll take you to Sanger Learn's page for ELD. And VAPA, and how you can weave VAPA and ELD together. So this is what that slide, or not slide, but that website looks like. It's a part of Sanger Learns, but it has different activities by grade level, ice learning by grade level, and then some different lesson menus, all for ELD and VAPA. 7th through 12th grade, because I know we have the K-8s. If you are interested, it's the same thing, but without the number 2 on it. So we only did K-6 in the spring. We're now doing it for 7-12. So if you're a 7-12 teacher, because we know we have the K-8s, it is available as well. You just at the end. And then this is with Canvas courses, or if you just want more information and you don't want to listen to my voice, you want someone else, which by all means go for it. If you click on this interactive PDF, which I will put the link in the chat, that PDF on each part, it will take you to different parts. So there's 6 different parts, and in each part is there, but it will take you to an interactive thing that you have different videos, and it's just another voice, another person, another way of showing it. So you can use that with students, or you can use it with see. The other thing, I know I just keep dropping a gazillion links in here. The other thing is we would like for you to join this Canvas course. We're going to continue having trainings opportunities virtually, like, hey, on this Monday, we're going to talk about quizzes. Log on if you want to learn about quizzes. But we've put everything from this training in this link. If you click on this link, this is what happens. So if you click on the bit.ly online SUSD, it looks like this: Enroll in SUSD Online Learning Resource Collaborative. It is a new course that will show up on your dashboard. Enroll in course, and then go to the course, and it is a new course tile, but the modules, so this is just an example. We just put some different buttons in as an example, but the modules is everything that I have shared, including the treasure hunt. Here's everything in 101, all the different links to the videos that I shared, including the slideshow. Everything in 201. So if you weren't able to go to, obviously you weren't able to go to 201, but here's all of this. If you're 6, 7, 8, it has information about the Canvas gradebook and how to sync that to PowerSchool. K5, you need to worry about that because we're still using Illuminate this year. And then Canvas 301, which is kind of a self-guided, like all of the integrations. If you are interested in some of the integrations, that's where you could check. Yes, Eileen, we will work on that. Eileen, I will send you an email after this. It will connect with Rachel Groft, who can make you an account. So again, this bit.ly online SUSD will take you to this Canvas course that will then appear in your dashboard, like on your tiles. It will show up here with a little panda. The panda, again, is the unofficial mascot of Canvas. Not really sure why, but that's in there. So the SUSD online learning resources. Okay. The other option, if this was too fast, or if you have a specific question that comes up and you think about it tomorrow for between 1 and 4, we're just going to have drop-in support. So you can hop on this Google Meet link, which again, I will put in the chat, but this link between 1 and 4 tomorrow, and just hop in, ask a question, and then leave whenever you're available or whenever you have your question answered. And then lastly, before I get to that, I'm going to show you where everything will be kept. So I'm just going to show in a week. That's the wrong week. So here's the calendar. Yours probably looks different, but you should have gotten an invitation to this. If you didn't, you can still find it if you look up the SUSD Professional Development Calendar, which is also on Sanger Learns. So I'll actually go from there in case you don't have it on there or you were not officially invited to this one, which everyone was invited, just it was a matter of if I got to all of the invitations in time. So on Sanger Learns, if you keep scrolling or if you hit calendar, I need to change this as last year's, don't look at that part, but the Sanger Unified Professional Learning Calendar, there's a bunch on this, so you can also click week so you can see it a little bit more clear. This is group 1, I'm sorry, group 3 technically, but Camp Canvas 101. If you say more details, it will then take you over to Google. So I'll share this tab and it will show you more details. So it will take you over into the Google thing or into the Google Calendar as opposed to just watching it on Sanger Learns. Then when you come up with this, it will be down here. So let me show you yesterday's. So here's yesterday's that we did with WAMs. Once I hit stop recording, automatically the recording goes onto the calendar event, if that makes sense. So here's the calendar event with all of the more information. This right here is the recording from yesterday's 101 Canvas. So you could watch that it's pretty much the same thing. They might have slightly different questions because it was a WAMS crowd. And then same thing, this is a Sanger High crowd. But yesterday's, I keep saying last night, yesterday's Camp Canvas 101 is linked there. 201 we didn't record yesterday, but we are recording today. So 201 is also on here. And Wanda said that it froze and then she had to re-record. So the beginning part is actually right here. There will probably be 2 videos and 2 chats for 201. So you could also watch 201. 301 exists, but there isn't a video because it was all just, they did it on their own time. During this time, they went through the Canvas course module and then just checked what needed. But that's where the videos will be, as well as we will either house them on Sanger Learns, put them on that Canvas page. So back on Sanger Learns from the beginning, if you hit Canvas and that's where we found the slides, we'll probably choose the best of the videos and put one of those for 101, 201, and 301. So we'll house them there and we'll probably also email. You'll probably get them in so many different places, you'll be sick of them. So we'll probably put them down here as well. And this was Sanger Learns, click on Canvas. We will eventually put the videos down here underneath the slides. But we are just now doing the videos, so we haven't gotten them ready yet. All right, so now, as you are coming up with any questions or anything you need, it would be amazing for you to copy this feedback, which I'm putting into the chat right now, to go to that feedback either with the QR code or with the link that I just put in the chat and give it some feedback. And on it, like, this is new. It's new for everyone, not only Canvas, but doing, especially technology, but doing training in this regard is kind of different. So we tried to, as much as we could, offer, like I do it live, but then there's also videos. But we know that that doesn't work for everyone. So be honest and let us know how we can try to make it better. Tomorrow, again, there is the drop-in support from 1 to 4 if you want more one-on-one, because we recognize that is something that a lot of us might need. But also take a moment to kind of have that metacognition of this is what your students are going to be going through. An hour and a half was long for our students, or as long for us. So think about what that feels like for a student, and think about how, even if you're like, oh, I went into this thinking I was okay on Canvas, but I'm going to need to go to those drop-in, like how can we offer those office hours and that kind of support for small groups and for one-on-one instruction. So take this to also like, okay, how did I feel? What does that tell me that I need to provide for my students? But other than that, thank you. I have a list of the ones that I know for certain, like all new teachers need to get into the district staff center. And I know new teachers, support staff, and PE needs to be made so that they can make a course, set up a course. But yeah, thanks guys. And I'm hanging out here for, well, I have one at 10. Other than that, I'm here if you have any questions. Zoom, okay. Another thing, because Megan just talked about it. So Zoom, we have purchased it, but like everyone and their mother has purchased Zoom. So there's kind of a backlog of getting that turned on. You can still use Zoom, but the app will not, they don't want the app in the app portal until it's the official Zoom education app where we have a little bit more control and power over it. So I don't have a date, but they had hoped by the beginning of it, or by like Thursday. It's not going to happen. So use Meet or use something else, but it is a perfect excuse to then say like, okay, well, this whole week I'm just going to have some one-on-one time to meet with my students, and we're not going to do a whole Zoom. But yeah, so I apologize. We just got the money. There was a grant that allowed us to do that, but the grant didn't come through until like last week, so we couldn't pull the trigger on all of those different things. But Seesaw Premium is exciting. Screencastify, if you log in now, Screencastify just sent an email. If you log in with your @SangerUSD.net account, it is free, and you have the premium account on Screencastify, so that's exciting. And yeah. But
oh, she's still there. Katie?
I'm here. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
see, she's still there. I have a question. I did what you said. I had created my own Canvas page, and then the district pushed out their Canvas page. So I imported it. I did all that. So is it safe to delete mine and it will still stay in the one that the district sent out?
Yes, except double check in the people tab that you're not deleting the one that has all the students.
Right.
If it was just
okay.
like a sandbox course and there's no one in there and the
Mhm.
content is where you want it, then yeah, you can delete the other one. And where you would do that is in the course and then settings, and then off to the side, there's a thing that says delete this course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Katie.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm a bit overwhelmed and I'm trying to
I know. No worries, Molly.
Yeah, like thank God my wife is kind of good at this stuff, but even she's like, I don't know Canvas. I'm like, you have to figure it out. Okay, so I guess what I want to ask is this last weekend we sat down and we like watched some kind of tutorials and tried to kind of figure some stuff out. One, I need, so I'm going from part-time back to full-time. So I need all my Centerville class